Hello. Update on my vector. The MUX suppressor is now gone. The inner barrel is back to being stock length because, well, quite frankly, in CQB, that extra 7 inches hanging out the front of the gun is quite hard to maneuver around corners. So now this is a dedicated CQB gun. I will only use this indoors, but I do have a package coming in on Tuesday next week. It contains things that will be part of my next project. That project will allow me to play at a field without lengthening my vector again. Unfortunately, I did get my EOFake shot out 2 weekends ago. So if you guys get an EOFake, or an EOTech in general, you know, optics in general are good to have. I suggest you buy one of these guys. It's a kill flash. This one's made for EOTechs. It slips on right that. Mine actually came fully covered here. It's just, it didn't fit into my 5.52 here because the top is much smaller than the flap. I just cut it right off. It fits in snug, just like that. Since I got shot out, it actually gave me the opportunity to rethink the type of optic I want to put on this gun, since I'm going to be CQBing only it. This is just a generic red dot. It also comes with a built-in kill flash, so BB will probably shatter on impact and disperse instead of cracking any glass. DSG is working pretty reliably. I can fire on semi pretty confidently. And automatic. So yeah, working pretty well. When I have it on semi and loaded, shoots pretty consistently, reliably, doesn't break anything. But on auto, well, I managed to do this sort of thing to my tappet plates. Well, these are just cut wrong, but let me find an example. Him. Yeah, snap the leg right off of him clean. So what I believe is happening that's breaking all these tappet plate legs is that when the sector gear pulls the tappet back, it's roughly like, it looks something like this inside the gearbox. Sector gear pulls the tappet plate back that way, and then there's a sort of linkage here that transfers this motion to motion like that, and pulls the nozzle back to let it BB up. And then sector gear lets go, pushes the tappet forward, pushing the linkage forward, pushing the nozzle forward, seating the BB into the bucking, all ready to fire. So the piston goes forward, pew, goes out the other end. But what I think is actually happening is the gun is cycling so dang fast, and with the Real Deal's crazy strong tappet springs, the tappet plate flies back so freaking fast that the BB only got up halfway, somewhere around there. And then we jam the nozzle forward, but we can't feed the BB in. Happening really fast, this could possibly send a shear force, or rather, it could possibly send a force back through the linkage and shear this leg right off the tappet plate, which is what I think is happening here. One Friday night, I have managed to shear the legs off of all my spare tappet plates, and so I had to order more, but I wasn't patient enough to wait for them, so I was trying some jerry-rig solutions. I noticed that the little Lego axle things are pretty much the exact same dimensions as this leg, so I thought, let's shave all this off and JB weld one on, modify it a little bit, and call it a day. It actually worked, but alas, on automatic, it started to break. I pulled this out before it all fell apart so I can see it, and that's not a very good permanent solution. Airsoft Customs actually has a much better reinforcement upgrade for these guys, and this too actually. He has a custom CNC piece of aluminum coming off the side with his own leg. Another thing he suggested you could do is drill a tiny 2mm hole down this shaft and then JB weld a piece of stainless steel or some sort of metal rod in here so it would resist those shear forces much better. Anyway, my hope for today is to fix this half BB feeding nozzle jamming leg tappet plate leg shearing thing is to just feed the BBs up faster. To do that, I ordered some magazine springs that I will be replacing these guys with. See how that turns out. Nice. I'm a little concerned if bending them like that would damage anything, but we should be okay. These things seem to be pretty resilient after all. Put those aside. Oh, I also bought a double O-ring Maxx nozzle, 21.25 millimeter, which is roughly the length of the Vector nozzle, but I had forgotten that I ordered this, so while this was in transit, the night before, I shaved down my own, my other nozzle, which was not double O-ring, it was single O-ring, but yeah, it's working. I might throw this in just for kicks and see if I boost my FPS maybe 20, because I am getting pretty close to the max my arena is allowing anyway. The next step is to take a magazine and remove the outer cover, the outer shell of it, before we can access the magazine spring. To do that, we will have to push these two pins in, and it should just pop right out. Every time I do this, I have mini heart attacks. Let's see if I can do this cleanly on camera. All we have to do is take two drivers of any shape that can fit into these holes. We'll stick them under the wedge and just push. That went a lot smoother than I thought it would. All right, next, punch this pin out. I'm gonna push it that way. If it fights too hard, I'll push it the other way. I don't have a punch. I'm going to use this crappy file that doesn't do anything. It's my punch now. And my amazing hammer called a screwdriver. Hey, doofus, you can't punch when there's something blocking the other side. Okay, pins through. Next, this little rear follower will do that if you're not careful. So push it down before removing the pin so you have control of it as it comes out, so you can take the spring out all calmly and collected. I gotta go find that later. As I thought, the spring is way too fucking long. If, with any luck, it's 2 times as long, so I can get 2 Vector mag springs out of 1. Let's see, where are we at? So now I will roll the spring over roughly halfway, find roughly the midpoint coil, grip it, and snip. I'll snip it on the side here so we get a roughly flat, or so we get an even cut on both sides. I don't have eye protection on. Okay, I got eye protection on now. Come on. Snip, snip. Snip, snip. Get it closer. Get more torque out of it. Snip, snip. Ah! There we go. Anyway, let's put this follower on. And then now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go find the other side. I found it. Head goes in, and this guy is right behind him. Oh, and the orientation does matter. The side with the slot indexed in it goes towards the magazine. The side does not, faces away from the magazine. Then this pin goes right back in there. Okay, now all we do is put the cover back on. Not yet. We put this guy on first. Depress the little pin and slip the cover right over. Now we put the outside cover on and just mash them together. Good to go. 1 down, 4 to go. If you're like me and ran into a pin that will not fucking budge, just take this cap off, unscrew the screws, carefully open it up and catch the spring as it comes out, and it'll just slide right apart. I have no idea why this one is so fused with that half, but it is. So, yeah, remove all these volatile bits. That part too, and now I will pull that out with some pliers. My god. Anywho, that's all out. Screw them back together. Careful not to over tighten this. When it resists, slow down. When it stops, stop. Because you're screwing into plastic. If you're really, really strong, unlike me, you'll strip the plastic right out. Now we take the follower off and throw him away. Get the new one, put him on, like so. Come on, come on, come on, let's get on there. There we go. Satisfying click. Not satisfying enough. Come on. Come on. All right, there we go. He's on there for good. So now we feed him through here. The follower could go in either way. It's the back one that matters for these mags. Oh yeah, there's plenty of compression going on in there. Slip him in with the notched side down towards the magazine. Push him down past the pinhole. Find the beveled side and put him in. Alright, he's in. Good to go. 2 down. Okay, we have one of the upgraded spring magazines here, fully loaded with .2 BBs. Gonna put it in my vector. Then turn on my state-of-the-art chrono/BB catch. Set it on semi. Let's sling some BBs, shall we? Oops. 299. 307. 299. 300. 296. 298. 298. 296. 297. 296. 298. 297. 297. 297. 297. 298. 297. 296. Pretty consistent. Switch her on auto. See what happens. Please don't blow up. Didn't feed the last BB. Yeah, it's just the one. 48 RPS, 49 maybe, 237 on the last BB. So what I garner from this is that on semi-automatic, she is extremely consistent at around 297 FPS. And the second I switch it to automatic, I lose 50 FPS roughly, give or take, because their BB's bouncing back and forth here. Yeah, well, that seems to have done it. I don't think I will be snapping any more tappet plate legs with this new feeding spring. BB's coming much quicker. Probably not halfway up and jamming up the system anymore. Yeah, very happy with this.